Welcome back to the Nullified Take channel here on YouTube, where I've got the TNT takes for you on Survivor 44 Episode 2. That's right, I'm back. We're dropping this a little bit later than usual because we had Omar on the podcast this week to talk about Survivor 44 Episode 2. So if you haven't checked that out yet and you're interested to see what Omar thought of these opening two episodes and also maybe a little bit of his own experience being out there playing this game, make sure to check that out. It should be available on the channel as well for you to watch after this top 5 takes. But let's get straight into the top 5 takes here for this episode. Takeaway number 1, this is Caroline's world and we're all just living in it. I wasn't as high on Caroline after the first episode because I really found it hard to follow her when she couldn't put together one coherent sentence, but she is growing on me. This episode was Caroline heavy. Now, in this episode, she finds the key to the birdcage idol. All of the rest of her Tika tribe goes walking off somewhere into the forest, having a conversation while she is out alone, able to go and look for this key. She finds it, she opens the birdcage idol, grabs it, runs back to camp, leaves it open, and then frantically has to backtrack to go and close the cage again, and she forgets to put the fake idol back in it and also to make it look like it hasn't been touched. So when the tribe comes back, they find out that somebody has opened it, and this creates mass paranoia within the Tika tribe, with everybody suspecting each other except for Carolyn. No one thought Carolyn could have the idol, and I think that people just thought she's too all over the place. She wouldn't be able to keep it a secret, but she does keep it a secret this episode, which is a massive plus for her really in this game because she now has power that she can use whenever she wants to, and she felt like she needed this because she has felt on the outs in that tribe. She also forms a very formidable alliance with both Yam Yam and Carson by the end of this episode, and you'd have to be a brave man to bet against those three going deep into this game at the moment. Sarah looks like she may be in a little bit of trouble in that tribe. Takeaway number 2, Matthew and Carson have very different plans on how to manage their threat level within this game. Matthew, within this immunity challenge, clutches out the win for his tribe by doing the snake maze obstacle, and then tells Jeff afterwards that he's been preparing for Survivor for a very long time. He's actually replicated this challenge in his backyard, and that is why he was so effective in completing it. Now, I want to ask you, the audience, a question. Is it a good thing for Matthew to say this so openly and proudly at this stage? Because now everybody else in the game knows that when it comes to individual immunities and challenges in this game, he is going to be a threat and he's going to be a challenge moving forward. Carson, on the other hand, who's a super fan as well, he chooses to do the opposite. He also has 3D printed a lot of the puzzles because they always keep the puzzles pretty much the same. So he's coming in prepared, but he's not letting people know that he's that big of a fan and that he's actually done that, which could be an ace up his sleeve if he does get into the merge, and when they start doing individual immunity challenges and there's puzzles involved, Carson could pull out some wins for himself in that scenario. I personally always lean towards what Carson is doing in the game. I wouldn't necessarily let people know I'm that big of a fan and that I've been practicing puzzles or obstacles in my backyard, but I do think that Carson and Matthew are at very different points in the game when it comes to their alliances and their tribes. You know, Carson is sitting pretty as the swing vote in his tribe. He doesn't look like he's in any danger of going home, where someone like Matthew has said multiple times that he wants to prove to his tribe that he is an asset. Even though he's the oldest guy in the tribe, he can be an asset in the challenges so that they wouldn't want to vote him out too early. Now, takeaway number 3 on the Soka tribe, we've got Danny going out and idol hunting while his tribe mates are flirting and bonding together at camp. You know, Claire says she's the laziness czar and that they all can't keep up with Danny. And for some other reason, they all think he's just going out collecting wood, getting palm fronds, while he's out there actually looking for this key. And he finds the key, he runs back to the birdcage, he takes the opportunity to get the idol. I'm not too clear if he actually did replace the idol with the fake idol there. I hope he did to some degree because it would be fun to see that play out if he does go and rehide the key. But it's also, like Omar said yesterday in the podcast, a high risk strategy, because if someone blows your cover when they get to the merge to say that there is a fake idol out there, it could potentially blow your cover a little bit within this game. Danny does keep it a secret, which I think is a great move for him. He's a big physical guy. He's already got that extra hustle about him, which is something I personally love in Survivor players. I like the players that outwork the rest of the tribe. So Danny is somebody that I've got my eye on, and he's moving up in my radar as a player to watch out for this season. Takeaway number 4. Carson embraces the wild child inside of him. He's got two options in this episode. He's got Helen and Sarah on the one side that wants to go up against Carolyn and vote her out. They do agree that they need to keep Yam Yam in the tribe because of his strength. And then on the other side, he's got Yam Yam and Carolyn, who's very close, who want to go after Helen. And Carson has to make a decision. Which side is he going to choose to play with for the rest of the season? And I have to say, I am kind of surprised that he chose Yam Yam and Carolyn in this episode because, you know, he had that young person alliance between himself, Sarah, and Helen, and I thought that they were a solid 3 with some good strategic chops, and they could have done damage within this game. But once again, the young people can't stick together in this game, and Carson goes and votes out Helen. It wasn't clearly explained in the episode why Carson made that decision. I feel like there's a lot of context and conversations that we missed prior to them going to the tribal council. The only thing we could really pick up in the episode was that Carson didn't trust Helen. He thought Helen had the idol, the birdcage idol, and that she was lying. Apparently he read a lot of books on deception and how to be able to read that. Well, he's not doing a good job at it so far. So listen to everybody. Just because you read a book, just because you're looking at body language, it's not to say you're going to be an expert by going out there. I think that intuitively some people have it and other people just don't have it when it comes to reading the facial expressions of other people and trying to pick up if they're lying or not. This whole tribe was snowed by Carolyn in this episode. The only other thing I can think of and why Carson went that way is because Yam Yam is so strong and they want to keep the strength in the tribe. But I am fearful for what this would mean for the Tekka tribe moving forward, because now Sarah has been left out of the vote, and she potentially may feel slighted by this. She could potentially go and join another alliance if they get to the merge intact. So I don't know what this means for the cohesion of the tribe, having this rift between the two factions in that alliance or within the tribe. Takeaway number 5, this season is setting up some great storylines which I'm excited to see play out. Early on in the episode, we see Kane come back. He's been found out as the only person left in the game that voted against Brandon. Brandon is not happy about that, so Brandon versus Kane is going to become a bit of a storyline this season. Kane is working really hard this episode to try and find idols. I actually kind of want him to find one just to mix it up a little bit and to keep the game exciting, but there is so many advantages in the game right now, so I'm not too sure if another idol has been hidden on that beach. The other storyline to look out here for in this season is Matthew injuring that shoulder in the first episode. He did not listen to the doctor's orders and he took his arm out of the sling. So he went out there against the doctor's orders to compete, and I am fearful that Matthew could play himself out of this game because he is going so hard at this game. I love the energy, I love the enthusiasm, but this could be a bad thing for Matthew moving forward in the game, not listening to the doctor. Number 3, Lauren did get that banker vote, so I am very interested to see what this means for her game moving forward. She now has 2 votes in a 5-person tribe, so I do think that is extremely powerful, and she's going to become the person that most of the players will want to work with having some ammunition in her back pocket that could benefit their alliance. Number 4, Matt lost his 2 votes at Tribal Council, and that's going to play out over this season. Will he have those 2 votes still lost by the time they get to the merge? Are they going to win out until that point? And can he survive the 2 tribal councils that he can't vote? Now, he does have a very tight relationship with Franny. There's a showmance that is budding a little bit here. Is he losing his focus on the game? And is he more focused on finding love out there? I want to see how that plays out for him this season. Number 5, I can't wait to see if Tekka can pull it all together. After this blindside on Sarah, can they find cohesion and win some immunities so that they at least have 4 players going into the merge, or could they become one of those tribes that get decimated prior to the merge? I, for one, can't wait to see how all of these storylines are going to play out. If you like this content, if you want to follow along as I do my top 5 takes for this season, please consider subscribing, please consider liking this video. It does help immensely with getting recognized in the YouTube algorithms. And for now, grab your torches, head back to camp. I'll catch you guys next time.